Well, this guy's sort of a real-com all-star, and today the CIO of Silverstein, someone who I've known for a long time. Please welcome Sandy Jacolow. How are you?
Good to see you again.
You look like a rock star.
Oh, we're not going there again, are we?
This is an exciting conversation because I think social media has started to catch up with the industry.
It's interesting because, following Jeffrey Moore this morning, he made a reference to the adoption curve of technology. And actually, over the last year, we've seen it go from early adoption to actually early majority. And what's also interesting is the early adopters have now actually taken it to the next level and gotten a lot more sophisticated with it.
Let's talk about that. What are they doing right?
Well, I think everybody has started to realize that social media is just one arrow in the quiver of their marketing and branding campaign. And they're looking at it and how it encompasses everything that they do. And what's interesting, what's also driven it, and you think about some of the big trends that we all talk about, mobility, cloud, big data, all those have actually gotten wrapped up because mobility and the change in the device sizes, and phablets now, for example, people are doing videos and images, which are a big part of social media. Then all of a sudden, if you think about 5 years ago when everybody was just throwing up websites, all of a sudden they realized, oh my God, let's figure out what's going on. Google Analytics, keywords, AdWords. Well, now that's coming to social media, where everybody is starting to say, let's take a look at our demographics. Let's understand what our audience looks like, where they're going, how they're using it. And those that are really getting to understand it will say, okay, you know what? And I'll give you a good example. We have 2 residential buildings a couple blocks away from each other in Manhattan. One is a very kind of millennial hip building, the other one is more family. When we post on social media, because of the demographics, we will sit there and do things like Instagram for the millennials, and on the other building we'll do a little bit more Facebook, and even the content is totally different.
I can see some companies going, okay, that's nice, I have an engaged building. Why are they missing the boat?
Well, it's all about knowing your audience.
Right.
It's all about trying to generate revenue, and at the end of the day, if you're not connecting, and it really is all sense of community. If you think about it, particularly in residential and office buildings, we're all changing the way that we work, we're changing the way that we live, and social media has become, it's taken for granted now. It really just doesn't stand alone. In fact, one of the things that you'll see in the whole way everything is converging is a lot of people are using social media for search. So when you go to the top of the Facebook bar, or if you're on Google+, you can search and start to get search results. So it's another way to get to information. Everything also that you have on all your social media sites, it's just another digital asset, which when you start to look for something and say, okay, where do I want to live? Where do I want to rent an apartment?
Right.
Where do I want to lease office space? They're going to start Googling. They're going to start to see what people are saying about you. All of those things now start to come up in search engines, and it all really is starting to converge.
So in a sense, by using social media properly, you're almost amenitizing your neighborhoods. You're making neighborhoods seem more appealing, attractive, accessible.
Oh, absolutely. You're not only doing that, but you're also, if somebody wants to move into one of our buildings, right, and let's call it an office building, what we want them to know is not only the great things about our building, but what's in the neighborhood. There are great places to eat, there are places to hang out after work. It applies to every class of real estate. So it really is just another tool for our leasing brokers to sell and get people to say, this is where I want to be. In fact, we have a unique opportunity. We have 4 World Trade Center, which is a great building, the first one to open on the sacred 16 acres. And we have some amazing event space. Last year, we actually taped, did you see the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger Bud Light commercials?
Yeah.
Where he was playing ping pong? That was filmed in 4 World Trade Center. We have some fashion shows. So all of a sudden, this becomes a very hip, cool, trendy place where we can do images of the events. We actually did recently Brown Shoe Company. You'll probably remember from Buster Brown Shoes.
Sure.
Okay, because those were not very cool back then, right?
No.
Well, now they're a cool company, 100 years old. They had a special event in 4 World Trade with Jennifer Hudson doing a separate concert. You had Fergie, major celebrities, all great social media to push the building and say, hey, this is a place we want to lease space. It's cool, trendy, it's got amazing views, iconic neighborhood. It's what you do.
Is this you? I mean, who's the guy pushing all this? We've got to get on this. Was this kind of your?
We actually have a team. We have a social media committee in-house. It's done very closely with our marketing team, and we've got a great marketing team who's been able to get companies like that to do events at 4 World Trade Center. it really is a collaborative effort. For our residential buildings, it's the folks on the ground, the property managers, the building managers, talking to us about what's going on in the building, a rooftop event, something going on at the gym, what they're hearing. Our leasing brokers, when they come talk to people, what's engaging them, what's interesting. It's a collaborative effort that we all really funnel through, and we have a central point of communication.
What's one thing that someone who really wants to start to embrace the power of social media can do? What are some of the early sort of push points that they can kind of push through to so that they can start to do a little bit of what you guys are doing?
One of the key things, being clear, concise, and consistent. You know, you have to post on a regular basis. Don't do anything controversial. Images are great. You know, a photograph, a quick video, a lot more engaging. People seem to like that stuff.
Yeah.
And monitor it. Keep it going, monitor it. If somebody reaches out and sends you a little note, respond to them, engage them, talk to them. Don't let it fall on deaf ears.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys had anything that you went, well, that was a learning experience in social media?
Oh yeah, we learn every day. I mean, we've done some contests which have been complete flops, and you realize and you kind of analyze it.
What was the lesson?
You know, the lesson is really somewhat stick to what you know.
Yeah.
Don't try and go too far out. Understand your audience.
Yeah.
And you know, it's going to be trial and error. You are going to make mistakes, and the things you want to avoid are the really big ones that can hurt your brand and your reputation.
You're an early adopter of so much. I gotta ask, you're wearing what looks like a Jedi Cuff. I don't even know. I just know if Sandy Jacolow's wearing it, I want one. If you don't mind,
Sure, no, not at all.
is it?
Actually, it's a Father's Day present from my daughter.
Okay.
And interesting enough, a quick little side note, because every year we seem to have a family story, right?
Yeah.
My daughter, who goes to Quinnipiac, who's doing digital marketing and communication, is now an intern at Victoria's Secret's corporate doing social media, website, and collateral. And what's interesting to watch a major company like Victoria's Secret's go through and embrace it, where, you know, it'll be an email blast that ties to Facebook, that ties to Twitter, all watching it from, you know, she's 21, so she's a millennial, to see that what we're doing in real estate very much mimics a company like Victoria's Secret. So back to this, this is one of the fitness bands by a company named Polar, because I'm a runner, so they do the...
POA?
Polar.
Polar. Oh yeah. They make the heart monitor.
Right, and I'm a runner, so it came for that. And it's a fitness band, so I'm seeing how much I'm walking the floor, and you know, as I go around and try and get back into shape.
Big data makes it onto our wrist as well.
It does. It feeds an iPhone app, so I can see what I'm doing. It kind of clocks a little bit of sleep. It buzzes me every now and then, says you need to move around a little bit more. It's all integrated. And again, it still goes back to that mobility piece of it, like social media. It's how do you get to the data? Well, I can do this. I can now take out my app on my iPhone, take a look. I can go to it on a website. I can go to it on an iPad or a different device. It's all about accessibility and letting people get to the data. And it's what we need to do in social media. Let people get to the data no matter where they are, no matter what the device is.
What can we look forward to for the future of Silverstein?
Well, you know, Silverstein's an amazing company. We are in the process of getting ready to build 3 World Trade Center. We are halfway through building the first 4 Seasons downtown hotel and residence, which is a spectacular building with a lot of home automation, spectacular views of the New York City skyline. We just did a deal in China. We're, you know, growing. We are taking advantage of technology. We believe technology is a way to make us all more efficient. Everything from, you know, social media, the cloud, big data. It's a fun time. For real estate, it's a fun time for technology.
Very cool. Sandy, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, my pleasure.
Fantastic.
Great to see you again.
Can we follow you on Twitter or anywhere?
Absolutely. And I ironically, from last year, a conversation that we had led to a brand called Things Sandy. So I'm Things Sandy on Twitter, on Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm still keeping it S Jacolow, and as well as Google+. But so now we have a little bit of a branding going on of Things Sandy.
Fantastic.
And we just try and filter out some of the things Sandy says.
Thank you so much. Sandy Jacolow, one of my favorite guests ever here on Real Comment. Thank you so much.
Great to see you again. Have a good conference.
See you later. Sandy Jacolow from Silverstein. If you weren't watching that, play it again. There was a lot of wisdom and neat entertainment there.